Hello, you are watching News Mongolian MNB World. I'm Jugdur Gambold. And for our top stories. March 22nd marks the 43rd anniversary of the first space flight by a Mongolian cosmonaut. Mongolia's Kazakh community celebrates the arrival of spring Nauryz. Mongolia is planning to plant 580,000 hectares this spring. For other news, stay tuned. Since the first human space flight by the Soviet Union, people from 47 countries have flown in space. Today marks the 43rd anniversary of the first space flight by a Mongolian cosmonaut.
On March 22, 1981, hero of the Mongolian People's Republic and hero of the Soviet Union, Jugdurdimdin Gurarkhcha, and twice honored hero of the Soviet Union and hero of the Mongolian People's Republic, Soviet cosmonaut Vladimir Janibekov flew into space on the Soyuz 39, returning to Earth at 7:42 p.m. on March 30th. This flight made Mongolia the 10th country in the world to send someone into space. Mongolian cosmonaut Gurarkhcha became the second person in Asia and the 101st person in the world to fly into space. While in orbit, 36 experiments were carried out in the fields of healthcare, biology, physics, technology, and remote sensing, laying the foundation for the development of space science in Mongolia. Space flights are conducted to enable scientific research that's impossible on Earth, facilitating experiments in microgravity, material science, and celestial observations. Space exploration also drives technological advancement, leading to innovations with practical applications on Earth. Collaboration between countries and space agencies fosters international cooperation, diplomacy, and resource sharing. Space missions also inspire and educate, captivating global audiences and encouraging interest in science and technology among future generations. Ultimately, these endeavors expand our understanding of the universe, push the boundaries of human achievement, and inspire curiosity and discovery. Through space exploration, humanity gains valuable insight into our place in the cosmos while advancing knowledge, technology, and international cooperation for the betterment of society.
The vibrant celebration of Nauryz marks the arrival of the new year. Nauryz, known as the month of March among Kazakhs, celebrates the regeneration of life with the onset of spring and is celebrated on March 21st and 22nd.
Taking place on 21st to 22nd of March, coinciding with the spring equinox, Nauryz festivities transcend religious boundaries, embodying a spirit of renewal and prosperity. Locals believe that the grandeur of the Nauryz celebration directly influences the fortunes of the upcoming year. A central aspect of Nauryz is reconciliation, as people seize the opportunity to mend fences, settle disputes, and clear debts. Homes are adorned with vessels filled with symbolic offerings such as milk, ayran, or plain yogurt, grain, and spring water, symbolizing hopes for bountiful harvests, prosperity, and abundant rainfall in the coming year. The Kazakh community in Bayinulki boasts a rich cultural heritage, including traditional music, handicrafts, and the cherished Nauryz festival. Beyond Mongolia, Nauryz, also known as Nauryz, is observed by an estimated 300 million people worldwide, spanning countries such as Turkey, Albania, and Azerbaijan. Recognizing its cultural importance, the United Nations designated 21st of March as International Nauryz Day in 2010.
The special session of the Mongolian National Crop Farmers Association has been held. Discussions centered around the spring cultivation, the challenges encountered by farmers, the development of agriculture industry, and potential future solutions.
Mongolia is planning to plant 580,000 hectares this spring. It is estimated that domestic crops will meet 100% of the population's wheat and potato requirements, as well as about 95% of their vegetable needs. Preparations for spring planting have just begun. Farmers are discussing their weak financial capacity and the difficulties they encountered in obtaining subsidized loans.
Small producers are unable to access discounted loans. Essentially, individuals with 200 hectares of land and those with 30 hectares of land cannot secure a loan due to insufficient collateral. They are ineligible to apply for such loans. Only those with substantial fixed assets and larger land holdings can qualify for these loans.
The price of flour, a key food product, has doubled over the last 4 years. Meanwhile, the price of wheat, the primary raw materials for flour, increased by 24% during the same period. With the spring planting on the horizon, there is ongoing discussion whether to exempt imported flour from customs duties.
Firstly, importing flour at a lower price may adversely affect local farmers and national production. Secondly, can we rely on a consistent supply of flour from a foreign country like Russia or Kazakhstan? What if they decide to close the border one day and refuse to supply flour to Mongolia?
More than 300 farmers from 21 provinces participated in a special session of the Mongolian National Crop Farmers Association. During this meeting, they discussed the outcomes of 2 years of work and conducted elections to select the next leader of the association.
5 candidates submitted their materials to compete for the position of head of the association. Our leader was chosen through a secret ballot, and today our assembly representatives engaged in serious discussions about the association's direction and activities for the next 3 years. They deliberated on determining agricultural production policies and activities, as well as how to implement government policies and decisions, among other topics.
The Mongolian National Crop Farmers Association is dedicated to introducing world-class technology and innovation into Mongolian agriculture production. Additionally, the association aims to enhance the legal framework for the sector, bolstering the economy and businesses of farmers.
Now please take a look at currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Now please have foreign news partnered with international news agencies. EU leaders are gathering in Brussels for a 2-day summit to discuss the situation in the Middle East, Ukraine, and the EU's security and defense strategy. The summit was attended by UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, EU High Representative Josep Borrell, Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas, along with other European leaders.
We believe it's essential to have peace for the Ukraine, but peace fully in line with the principles, which means peace respecting the Charter, international law, and the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the Ukraine. That is the reason why we believe, for the same reasons, that we need a ceasefire in Gaza, as we condemn the terror attacks of the 7th of October, and as we condemn other violations of international humanitarian law by Hamas, we also condemn the fact that we are witnessing a number of civilian casualties in Gaza that is unprecedented in my times as Secretary General. And a basic principle of international humanitarian law is the protection of civilians. We must stick to principles, in the Ukraine as in Gaza, without double standards.
If Russia wins this war, then there are going to be consequences on the European security, and that is what the leaders have to also explain back home. It is not the border countries who have a border with Russia, it's all of NATO that is at stake here, and not only in Europe but also globally, because if aggression pays off somewhere, it serves as an invitation to use it elsewhere, and we're going to see more of those malign actors all across the world taking their neighbors' territories.
Or what I am hoping for coming out of this meeting is conclusions in which we as European Union, all 27 of us, call for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire leading to a two-state solution. The language is not yet closed. We're not far off that. Austria and the Czech Republic are the two that are currently holdouts on that. I think they're wrong. But we have to convince them, and you don't convince people by berating them.
And I am happy that the Council today is going to approve conclusions which go much further than the first conclusion in October when we set humanitarian pauses. Today the Council goes much further, supporting UNRWA, asking for a sustainable ceasefire, certainly asking also for the freedom of hostages, needless to say condemning Hamas attack, but showing a strong concern for the situation of the people in Gaza, which is unacceptable. And something which is unacceptable has not to be accepted. Otherwise, it's pure rhetoric. What's happening today in Gaza is the failure of humanity. It's not a humanitarian crisis. It's the failure of humanity. It's not a earthquake. It's not a flood. It's bombing. The only way of stopping this humanitarian crisis, human crisis, is Israel respecting more the civilians and allowing more support to enter into Gaza.
The General Assembly passed a historic resolution on artificial intelligence during its recent session. This resolution signifies a united global effort to ensure that AI benefits all nations, upholds human rights, and prioritizes safety, security, and trustworthiness.
Sponsored by the United States and co-sponsored by 123 countries, including China, this groundbreaking resolution was unanimously adopted without a vote. This means that all 193 UN member nations stand in support of this initiative.
All told, for all of the unknowns surrounding AI, this much is clear. This technology has the potential to unlock more progress on more issues for more people. But in order to ensure equitable access to these benefits and mitigate risks for communities across the globe, we must approach this technology as a global community, leaving no one behind.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan hailed the resolution as a milestone, outlining crucial principles for the safe deployment of artificial intelligence. Secretary of State Antony Blinken described it as a pioneering global strategy for developing and utilizing this transformative technology.
May I take it that the Assembly decides to adopt the draft resolution A/78/L49. It is so decided.
Harris emphasized that AI must serve the public interest, ensuring protection against potential harms, while maximizing its benefits for everyone. This resolution sets a precedent for responsible AI adoption and advancement on a global scale.
This technology has the...
All right, that's all for today. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you next time with more news and updates. Have a great day ahead.